some of you guys know my story as an Armenian refugee that was born in Azerbaijan, Baku, but what many of you may not know is that that part of the world has been at war with each other for 35 years. And this past week, it looks like there may have been a peace treaty reached between Azerbaijan and Armenia. So this could actually have direct implications on me, believe it or not, which I'll kind of explain a little bit later. But yeah, this was just announced, and it oddly enough was orchestrated by our president, Donald Trump. So check this out. This went viral. It says Trump says he is very confident of lasting peace between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Now, again, I'm of Armenian ethnic descent. Armenians have been in that land for a very long time. Ancient churches built in that part of the world, specifically Azerbaijan. But Azerbaijan is its own country, a lot of close allegiance to Turkey. The Turks committed the 1915 genocide against Armenia. And so they have been warring for a super long time. And basically, it's over a specific region on the eastern part of Azerbaijan called the Nagorno-Karabakh region. I think I said that correctly. And that is an autonomous zone right here in the middle of Azerbaijan. That is Armenia. What's interesting is whenever there's superpowers like the Soviet Union, or like we saw Great Britain over Israel, Palestine, they always write these bizarre, arbitrary boundaries that don't make any sense, right? And some people believe it's because they want to intentionally de-escalate the region. They want them dependent on folks who are the more powerful ones with the resources. In this case, the powerful folks in the last century was the Soviet Union. And so you look at this and you go, that's weird. And then why does Azerbaijan kind of hook underneath to Armenia, right? So Armenia is green, Azerbaijan's purple. That little autonomous zone is Nagorno-Karabakh, and that led to all sorts of issues. Now, I'll show you guys where I was born. I was born right over here in Baku, right, which is a beautiful city. They just hosted a massive UFC event. And so because of these kind of weird boundaries, and then again, also like Azerbaijan is right here in the Armenia zone, and Armenia is the oldest Christian nation. We didn't have a written language until we translated the Bible into our language. So we created a written language. And Azerbaijan is Muslim, and I believe that they're Sunni Muslim, not Shia Muslim, which is the majority of Muslims. So a lot of weird stuff that's happened in this region. And so what they're trying to do is, I can kind of try to explain to you guys, is this little road right here, they're trying to connect from here so that they can have access to Turkey, which is a great trading partner with Azerbaijan. And so peace treaty reached. I'll tell you guys my thoughts of it and how it may affect me. But let's pull up Donald Trump and the big moment that they had, the president of Azerbaijan and the president of Armenia. Okay, now again, the crazy part about all this is I grew up with our Arzis. Like Arzis and Armenians were friends. We grew up friends. But because of this tension in these regions and Arzis supposedly getting kicked out of Armenian parts and then Armenians getting kicked out of Arzi parts, that's what led to the pogroms of Baku, the ethnic cleansing of hundreds of thousands of Armenians from the capital of Azerbaijan, which is Baku. So this is them signing the paperwork and just talking about their desire for peace and hopefully stability between the two nations that have been fighting and raging for over 35 years.
Previous negotiations, this declaration establishes what they are calling a great honor for me. I didn't ask for this, the Trump route for international peace and prosperity.
I love that it's always a Trump something.
Yeah. They always got to, get it in there. Yeah. If you want to get the deal done, put my name on it.
Yeah. Forget that these folks have been fighting. Forget that there's been Christians. 2023, 120,000 Armenian Christians ethnically cleansed from Azerbaijan. With Trump peace plan. He just attaches his name and everything. This is amazing.
A special transit area that will allow Azerbaijan to get full access to its territory of Nakhchivan. Well,
and that's the trade thing you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's the trade route.
That's the trade route between Azerbaijan on the other side and then eventually Turkey. They want to be able to connect directly to Turkey and have a route that goes through Armenia or like along the Armenian border to Turkey.
Later in the interview, the reporter that's Armenian isn't so excited about this peace deal, or she doesn't think that it'll actually be lasting peace.
also noticed that you think highly of the commitments that the sides have taken on and assumed. However, considering the long history of conflict and the fact that this is not a legally binding document, will there be consequences if at some point one of the sides takes a step back?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be very good. And I told them, I gave them a personal commitment. If there's, there's always little problems here and there, right? The big ones have been solved. The giant ones have been solved. But if there's conflict, they both know they're going to call me and we're going to get it straightened out. They're not going to have a problem. Where are you from?
Armenia.
Okay, good. Very good. I was wondering. It was a very unusual question. But it's not unusual.
Yeah, and here's the deal. People have been DMing me on Instagram asking me what do I think about this as a refugee from this part of the world. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. This is the president of Azerbaijan says.
First of all, I'd like to say that today we initialed the peace deal, which was in the process of negotiations for quite a while. The fact that it is initialed here, in the capital #1 of the world, in the office #1 of the world, and in front of the great president of the United States, means that there should be no doubts and no suspicions that any of the sides would step back.
Yeah, I mean, but again, they just brokered a peace treaty between Gaza or Israel and then now, Benjamin Netanyahu is talking about he's just going to take over Gaza, right? So this, what is it really going to mean? I don't know. There's been a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah,
there hasn't just been blood. There's been a lot of bloodshed and like the drill rapper, I'm smoking on your ops and mocking you after you die.
Energy.
Yeah, like the RZ's created an entire museum of like Armenians with very like stereotypical Armenian features, soldiers with, yeah, it's really dark. And they say kids there and they talk about how they killed all these, like it's some really dark stuff. So it is the equivalent of like, I'm smoking on your ops and drill music type beat, Wow. I think I've covered it on the channel before. We don't have to play it now. So I'm hopeful. Yeah. And I'll tell you guys why I'm hopeful in a second. What do we got here? After brutal war, Armenian Christians say birth of Christ gives them hope of rebirth of our nation.
This is just a look into kind of what happened recently in 2020.
2023.
2023,
2020 also, they also had a war.
Yeah.
2023 is when they ethnically cleansed.
This might have been
hundreds of thousands. This is probably.
This is 2020.
Yeah, 2020. So this is just brutal.
Yeah, that sort of destruction there. Pretty brutal. Yeah, it's nothing to joke about. But the Armenian president
what
chimes in.
Prime Minister Pashinyan or myself had in mind to step back, we wouldn't have come here. So you can be absolutely sure, as well as Azerbaijani community, that what has happened today will result in peace, long-lasting peace, eternal peace in the Caucasus.
Eternal
That's a very nice
I'm sorry. Fully agree and nothing to add.
That's a very nice two statements, and that's a beautifully stated statement. Let's go.
Nicely, beautifully stated statements. So people were asking me, Ruslan, what do you think about this? I got a lot of folks DMing me, folks from the Armenian community that have DM'd me. I'm not holding my breath. If I'm honest with you guys, I'm not holding my breath, but I am hopeful because as an Armenian, even though I have a RZ last name, as an Armenian, I am not allowed or the government doesn't recommend, even though I'm an American citizen, for me to travel back to my birthplace where I was born, right? And so I am hopeful that if this gets reconciled, that I could potentially go back to where I was born someday and be able to visit.
Wow.
And so pull up Baku real quick because it's a gorgeous city right on the Caspian Sea. It's amazing. And so like I would love to go back and visit. I mean, look at that. Like that's beautiful. I would love to go back and visit. The U.S. Department up to this point has not recommended visiting Baku for Armenians. And there's also, even though I have an Armenian last name and a Russian first name, there's also a high likelihood that even if I were to get there, they would turn me away at the border, like with flying, turn me away at the border because they could just Google me and see that I'm Armenian, right? And so it's like we can't guarantee your protection if you come here because of all the crazy stuff. And so I would love to go back and visit. So if there was peace made and it normalized relations between Baku, where I was born, Azerbaijan, where I was born, and Armenia, I think it would be a massive, massive, massive W. So I'm optimistically hopeful, but cautious at the same time.
Eternal peace.
Eternal peace. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you liked it, then hit the like button. If you liked it a lot and have a thought to share, leave a comment. If you are listening to this on the podcast app, make sure to leave a review, and you could even leave a comment over there. And if you want to watch another video that is recommended just for you, hit this video over here. Let me know if they nailed it. Also, you can partner with us monthly, which helps us out a lot in our monthly community, get access to early drops and all that kind of good stuff over here. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.